HANA is available. It's a HANA from the SAP, or it's a Oracle Exadata, or it's a Teradata. So there are the different frameworks are available to work with the big data, right? In that one of the main component is the most efficient one. So with the cost saving, with the 24 by 7 running high availability is possible with Apache Hadoop. Okay, Hadoop from the Apache. Suppose why everybody is implementing Hadoop from the Apache, right? See, I told that, so we can apply this big data analytics in Oracle Exadata. Sorry, SAP HANA. We take first SAP HANA. Okay, suppose if you take SAP HANA, first you have to buy the hardware machines to store the data, correct? And then we need an application engine, right? What we need is application engine means the programming tool to work with the data which is in a hardware. After that, you have to buy the license, and then you have to pay for the support, right? It is same thing for the Oracle Exadata, or it is same thing for the Teradata. Now, why everybody is implementing Hadoop, right? What is the advantage with the Hadoop is Hadoop provides, it's a commodity hardware. What it will provide? It provides the commodity hardware. So what is a commodity hardware? The commodity hardware means they are the reusable machines. Okay, they are the reusable storage machines, or they are the inexpensive storage machines. Okay, our commodity hardware is the existing infrastructure. That is, now if you want to work the Hadoop, now we can work anywhere, we can work on any kind of infrastructure, right? So we don't need to separately buy the hardware to store the data. Okay, Hadoop can be run as a service. Okay, we can run Hadoop as a service. We know the background services generally what we run. So the same way Hadoop can also run as a service, means we can able to run Hadoop on any environment, right? Everybody and anybody can be able to integrate. That is, we can use Hadoop in SAP HANA too. We can use Hadoop in a Teradata too, right? We can, that is every environment we can able to integrate Hadoop as a service. So that is the one advantage, right? So it supports a commodity hardware. Generally, whenever a client wants to implement a new project, what he prefers, Santosh? The cost, correct? To
Yep.
implementation cost, the first priority for a client is implementation
The cost.
cost, and the second one, he looks for the high availability. He don't wants to down the, for even a small amount of time, he want to run the clusters at the servers 24 by 7. It should be up and run, right? So these are
Mm.
the main things for every client, right? You are a project manager, suppose you want to implement a project, first you should tell these two things: what is the cost for the implementation, and how much the high availability you are providing. Okay, now see,
Okay.
so when it is coming to the cost for the Hadoop, it supports commodity hardware, means it you can use your existing infrastructure. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
these are the inexpensive storage machines, so you are not buying an expensive, and we can integrate Hadoop into any infrastructure. Otherwise, we can run Hadoop in a cloud. Okay, we can able to run Hadoop in a cloud. So now, how much the cost for the implementation for the infrastructure? Very much less. Correct, Santosh?
Yes.
Yes. Now coming to the hardware. Now application engine, right? The programming tool, how you write the programs, how you write the jobs in for the Hadoop. Now Hadoop supports, we can write Hadoop jobs in C language. Okay, C is a open
Mm-hmm.
source, freely available. We no need to buy. C++, free source, open source code, freely available. No need to buy. Java, open source, freeware. Correct?
Yep.
Python, it is open source and freeware. So now, if you are using for SAP HANA, the here application engine is HANA appliances which you have to buy. Now, so these are the application engines which we are using, which is all open source and freely available. And suppose you say that I'm the new user, I don't know these programming languages, then how to work the Hadoop? Then Hadoop is providing two components, that is Hive and Pig. Okay, now learn and Hive and Pig, which is open source, which is freely available to work with the Hadoop. Right. So now how much you're investing for the application engine? Very much less.
Very
Right?
much less.
We're not very much less. Actually, we are not investing. These are all the freeware and open source
Previous.
available. And the license. License for the Hadoop from the Apache is free. Okay. Coming to the support. Right. So there is no support is available from the Apache. They won't provide the support. Then how to get the support for the your issue? So there are some public forums are available which they will provide the support for your issue. Okay, but it's difficult to
Okay.
approach the forums, correct? So that if you are having bulk amount of data, it's every time you have to process the data, right? And that time we can you can buy the Hadoop. Okay, so if you are using
Mhm.
Hadoop from the Apache, it is free, right? You are not investing. But if you are using Hadoop, if you want to buy the Hadoop, then we can say Hadoop buy, we can say Hadoop vendors, right? Where we can buy the Hadoop, or it is a Hadoop distributors, right? Where we can buy the Hadoop.
Yeah.
So there are, one is Cloudera. We can buy the Hadoop from the Cloudera. We can use Hadoop from the Hortonworks, and we can use Hadoop from the MapR, right? So now, right, so the Cloudera is providing Hadoop in the form of CDH, and Hortonworks is providing Hadoop in the form of SDP, and Mapper is providing Hadoop in the form of three versions available, M3 and M5, M7. So three different versions of Hadoop distributions. The first in the market is a Cloudera, captured more number of clients, and Hortonworks is a one vendor and Mapper. So now we can use CDH to work the Hadoop, right? CDH, the new one is a 5.4 is available, and HDP 2.3 is the newly available. So Mapper is running, right? So these are M3, M5, M7 versions are available. Okay, now we have to buy the Hadoop. Means your client has to buy the Hadoop from the Cloudera or Hadoop from the Hortonworks or the Mapper. So everybody makes will have any one Hadoop from these vendors. Okay,
Mhm.
right. So now, so if you are using Hadoop from the Cloudera or Hadoop from the Apache, see here we are using only the Hadoop. That is, the movie is same, but the theaters which we are playing is different. Okay, it is Hadoop, correct? So the Hadoop which we are playing in Apache, right? The same Hadoop we are having in the Cloudera, the same Hadoop which say Hortonworks, the same Hadoop in a mapper. So don't get confused, like, so Hadoop in the Cloudera is different, Hadoop in Hortonworks is different. It's a movie is the same, but the theaters means, when comes theaters, the features they are providing, the environment which they are providing, the price which they are charging is different, but the movie which you are playing is the same, right? So here Hadoop is the same, but these they are the different vendors. Okay, right. Now, so in the Cloudera or Hortonworks or Mapper, we use Hadoop to write the big data analytics. Okay, so big data analytics. What are the big data analytics? I'll tell you one example. Right here, I'll take e-commerce based client. You take Best Buy or Walmart or Amazon or uh, right, eBay. So what they have some data like this, right? Every day, so different users will visit the product, correct? So then, right, so every user, whenever a user is visiting the product, so his entry is written into a file, correct? So I'm taking a one file. The file name is prod underscore info. Okay, what is the file name? Prod underscore info. This is a text file. Okay, so what they are doing, whenever a user visits a product, his name is written into this data set. Okay, so it will have the file prod id, prod name, and price of the product, and time when he visited the product, right? So this is a file contains the data like this. So product id is a one, and right, the username and the product id, right? Username we take Ajay is a user, right? He visited a product 123, product name is iPhone 6, and the price is something, right? And the time sometime he visited this product. Okay, so like this is having the data, this file is having the data, right? Now, is there any limit that only each user has to visit this product this many number of times? No, correct, Santosh? A user can visit the product any number of
Yes.
times, right? Is there any limit? Did anyone will object you? No,
No.
we can visit a product a
No.
many number of times. So whenever you visit a product, your name is written into this file. Okay, now consider Ajay is a user. He visited iPhone 6 100 times. How many times he visited? 100 times. So how many times is name written into the data set? 100 times.
Correct.
Okay, so consider this notepad contains some 75 lakh entries are there, means in that particular day, so there are 75 lakhs of visits are there for the products. Okay, now in that one only the user Ajay visited the product how many times? 100 times. So now this is the
100
data
times.
we have like this. Now we see what are the analytics. Okay, now your client call you, yeah, Mr. Developer, not admin, Mr. Developer, find out how many users visited iPhone 6 today. So he asked this question. Now what you have to do now? Each iPhone 6 and how many times the username is written will calculate, right? You have to count this one. Now when you count this, how many times Ajay name is written into the data set? 100 times.
100 times.
So can you count Ajay as 100 users?
No.
No, if you count Ajay as 100 users, it remains heavy stuck in the right inventory, right? The products it's a wrong calculation, right? Even though Ajay name exists multiple times in the data set, but when we are counting the number of users, here we have to consider Ajay as a one user. Correct. So now, so we have the different entities. From that we'll retrieve Ajay as a one user. Now which file we are analyzing? Text file, which is a notepad, and we are writing the jobs by targeting the data which is in a plain text file, which is a flat file, which is a notepad. Suppose if you are going to write another query, how many times each user visited iPhone 6? Now, what is the query here? How many times? Now, Ajay visited how many times now? 100.
100.
Right? For this query, we have to consider Ajay as a 1. For this query, we have to consider Ajay as a 100. So
100.
these are the different types of analytics we are going to write on this data. Okay, so means we are going to write the jobs by targeting the unstructured data. You know how much difficulty to analyze the notepad, correct? So there is no primary keys will be there.
Yeah.
We don't have in exact data. Unstructured data always leads to inconsistent data. Inconsistent data leads to inaccurate data, which is incorrect data. And we are taking the data and we are using the best analytics by targeting this kind of data. So these are the big data analytics. And what is the predictive analysis? The predictive analysis, the client asks Now tell me how many. It's a predictive, means how many users are going to buy iPhone 6 this week. Right now we have to take the data. Now we have to take this raw data, and now we have to analyze this one. How you analyze? Suppose Santosh Ajay visited iPhone 600 times, which indicates he's interested to buy. Correct?
Right.
A user comes to the Walmart. In the search, he entered iPhone 6. He have seen the description and simultaneously searched something in sometimes Google about iPhone 6. He searched in other websites, and that means what it indicates, he's also interested to buy. Right? Suppose you are visiting some other product, and in the left side you have seen iPhone 6. You clicked it, and you have seen the product for only 5 minutes. Then you left for another product. That indicates whether you are going to buy that. No, correct. So this is what we call
Yes.
as a predictive analysis. So these are the different types of analytics which we are going to perform with the big data analytics. Got it now? What are the big data analytics, Santosh? Right. So this is one example. I'll give another example. uh, Suppose we have take telecom sector, right? So suppose there is one user X, he messages every day. There is another user Y who travels every day. Now your data science team designed a new plan which is related to messaging plan. Now for whom you have to suggest this messaging plan, to X or Y?
Yes.
You have to suggest this plan to X, means that indicates because X is a user who messages, which is looking for the more messaging offers. When you suggest the plan X to message plan to the X, suppose if you are able to identify the requirements of your customer, if you are able to analyze the personalization kind of thing, then we can able to provide. Because if I know that X is a user who messages, then I can able to suggest the message plan. Suppose if I suggest this message plan to user Y, what happens now? Here you won't get the benefit, as well as your client, sorry, your user won't get the benefit. So now what we are going to do now, we are going to collect the data of every user, and we process the data, we analyze the data, we can able to identify the usage of the particular user, we can able to identify the requirements of that particular user. Based upon the usage, based upon his requirements, we are going to suggest the plans. Then how we are going to identify his requirements? By analyzing the data. How many users are there for Vodafone? There are so many number of users are there. Identifying all that users of data, how much it's difficult. Santosh, correct? Right. So that
Yes.
are the analytics which are best, we can able to analyze using Hadoop. Okay. Now got it? What are the big data analytics?
Yes.
Yes. Now, uh, so we use Hadoop to write this analytics. So what is a Hadoop? The definition of Hadoop is a distributed data processing system. Okay, so what is a Hadoop? Hadoop is a distributed data processing system. That is, the data, the input data is going to be distributed, where suppose we have some disks are like this, some bunch of disks. Okay, now what we are doing, we are distributing the input data into this bunch of disks. Suppose this is a 1 TB disk, so each disk is a 1 TB, right? So Hadoop supports JBOD. What is a JBOD? It's a just bunch of disk. It's a concept. Hadoop supports just bunch of disks. So what we'll have in Hadoop? In Hadoop, we'll have a bunch of disks. Okay, Santosh. Now we are distributing this input data into the bunch of disks. Got it now? What is Hadoop? Hadoop is a distributed data processing system where the input data, what are the input data? Like these files, these are the input data. Now we are distributing this data to a bunch of disks. Okay, and so what we have in this bunch of disks, suppose if you install Windows in this hard disk, which file system you will get, Santosh? If you install Windows, it is NTFS file system or FAT file system, correct? Suppose
Yes.
if you install Linux, you will get ex1, ex2 kind of file system, correct? Now, if we
Mhm.
install Hadoop in these disks, we'll get a file system called SDFS, right? When we install Hadoop, which file system will get? SDFS, that is,
HDF
yeah, Hadoop distributed file
file
system.
system.
Santosh, suppose you want to play a song in your system, right? What we have to do first, we should make the song available in your system, right? Either it can be C drive, D drive, E drive, E drive. First, you have to copy the file, correct? After that, you have to double click the song. Then it will be played in a player, correct? The same way, now if you want to work with the data, we should make the data available in a file system. Then how we are making song available in system Windows, C drive, D drive, it's a file system internally, NTFS file system, correct? The same way, whatever the input data which you have to process, we should make the input data available in a file system called SDFS. Got it? Now, when you install a Hadoop, Hadoop will have its own file system. That file system is SDFS, Hadoop Distributed File System. Now, we'll make input data available in SDFS. After that, we process the data, right? Now, the data is going to be distributed. After distributing the data, what we have to do? We have to process the data, right? So Hadoop uses MapReduce. What it uses? It uses a MapReduce to process the data. Okay, so it uses a concept called MapReduce to process the data. So what is a MapReduce? MapReduce is a data processing system. Okay, na? Right? So writing a MapReduce program means, write which application engine Hadoop will have. Writing a MapReduce program means writing a program in C language, or writing a program in C++, or writing a program in Java, Python, or Hive Pig. That is, we are going to write the MapReduce in these things. Suppose, Santosh, you know the oops.
Yep.
Yes, suppose if I told you to write a oops program, then where you write oops program? We write oops in C++ or we write oops in Java because they are the oops supported programming languages. Similarly, the map reduce is a concept, Santosh. It's a concept where we can write this map reduce in a map reduce concept supported languages that are C language, C++, Java, Python, Hive, Pig. So these are the programming languages where we are going to process the input data, right? So that is a MapReduce, right? So now the data is we are storing in SDFS and we are writing the jobs, or we are writing the programs using a concept called MapReduce. So writing a MapReduce program means writing a program in C language or C++ or Java or Python or Hive or Pig, which is a more flexible. You are a PLSQL programmer, or you're good in the DB2 Oracle SQL Server, then we can use Hive. If you are a script to program JavaScript, like that kind of programmer, then you write in Pig language. If you are a Java programmer, then you write in C++ Java. So everybody and anyone can able to write the map reduce jobs. Okay, clear, Santosh? Now, what is a Hadoop and
Yep.
definition of the Hadoop?
Yes.
Right. So now what we call this big data is going to be distributed into this bunch of disks. Okay. After that, now we are going to process the data which is in this bunch of disks using a MapReduce. Okay, now so what we are having, these are the bunch of disks, right? So what we have to do, we have to configure this bunch of disks as some nodes. We'll configure like this, means this is a node 1 will have some disks, so this is some node will have some disks, right? So we call these are the data nodes. What we call, these are the data nodes where we write input data, right? Now how many nodes we are having? Four data
Three.
nodes, three data nodes and four disks, correct? So this is a node 1 will have how many disks here? Two disks.
Two.
Node 2 will have one disk. Node 3 will have one disk. Okay, Santosh, now suppose I have given a textbook. What I have given? A textbook contains 1 lakh pages. Okay. Now in that 1 lakh pages textbook, there is no indexes available. There is no bibliography is there. Now I want to search for some. I want to. I'm looking for a one paragraph. Is it possible to find that?
No.
Is it possible, Santosh?
No.
No, it's a difficult. It's possible, but it takes a lot of time. Correct? The same way,
Yes.
now, so what we are going to distribute the data into this bunch of disks. After distributing the data, which 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 blocks, which part is available in which data nodes? Who knows that? Right? Suppose we have some 1000 GBs available. How much data size? File size is 1000 GB. Now how many nodes we are having, Santosh? Four nodes,
Three only.
correct? Three nodes. How many disks? Four disks.
Four days.
Means in each disk we can able to store 250 GB, correct? Now, so one
Okay.
250 GB is available in the disk 1, another 250 GB is available in the disk 2, right? Now next 250 GB in the disk 3 and another 250 GB in disk 4. Now which 215 which nodes, nobody knows, right? So we write that reference into a node called name node, right? So I'll give you more brief about in the coming sessions about this architecture. Now these are the just a bunch of disks where we are going to distribute the data. After data is distributing, now which data is available in which data nodes will be written into the name node. So Hadoop will have an architecture like this. So a name node and the data nodes. I'll give you a little bit more description on this. Suppose, yes, Santosh. Actually, I'm looking Ajay. I'm a user. I'm looking for Santosh. Okay. So there are 100 rooms are there. How many rooms? 100 rooms are there. Okay. In one room, Santosh is there. Then I don't know in which room Santosh is available. What I have to do now? I have to go room number 1. Either it can be sequentially I have to visit all the rooms, or randomly I have to visit all the rooms. So in some room I can able to find the Santosh, correct? So if I'm going
Yes.
sequentially, suppose Santosh you are in room number 99. To find I need to travel 98 rooms, correct? How much time it takes?
Yes.
Right. Suppose
Lot
in
of time.
lot of time. Suppose instead of this, there is one another user Raju who knows in which room Santosh is available. Correct? Then what I have to
Okay.
do now? I'll talk to the Raju. Yes, Raju, in which room Santosh is available? Then Raju says that Santosh is available in room number 99. Then what I'll do? I'll go to the room number 99 directly so that I can find the Santosh. Got it now? Because
Hmm.
here Raju knows in which room Santosh is available. Correct? So now
Yes.
here, so thus the process of searching is known as a job. Okay, what we are doing now? This searching, this process is known as a job. Where we are searching, where the data is available. Now, where Santosh is available, 100 rooms. That is, now if your Santosh, which we are searching, Santosh is a data. So the searching is a job, and what we are searching for the data. That is Santosh. Now, where Santosh is available, 100 rooms. Now, where data is available, 100 nodes, right? That is 100 data nodes. Here, 100 rooms are the 100 data nodes. So now, the job is a searching, and we are searching for the data in 100 data nodes. But who knows the reference of the data? Raju. So here Raju can be known as a name node where the reference or the metadata or index of the data is available. Here Raju is known as a name node. Got it now? Clear?
Yes.
Yes. Now see here, I'll write. Now when we are distributing the data, now your actual data is available in data nodes. Okay. Now reference of the data means which data is available in which data node is written into the name node. So now name node contains what name node contains, Santosh? Metadata, or you can say reference of the data in data nodes. Okay, so this is what a name node contains. Now the Hadoop architecture is in the form of, right? Hadoop architecture is in the form of master and slave architecture. Okay, so it is in the form of master and slave architecture. So what are the masters? Now we can say name node is a masters. Now see here, the this is a master node. Now that is name node, and slaves are the data nodes, right? So we'll have some data nodes like this. Okay, now the slaves are connected to the master node, right? So like this we'll have the Hadoop architecture. Now your data, the big data or the data which you are going to analyze will be written into these data nodes, and the reference of this data is written into the name node. Got it now? So this what we call it as a cluster. This is a Hadoop cluster. Okay, so now what we have to now, what Hadoop developer will do, what a Hadoop admin will do. Now see here, the role of distributing the data, right, is done in the data nodes, and reference is written into the name node. Now the configuration of the name node and the data nodes are done by the administrator, where writing the MapReduce jobs are the responsibility of a Hadoop developer. Right? Being an admin, you should have to configure, right? You should make the cluster ready to process the big data. Okay, so now taking the disks and configuring the disk and installing Hadoop and all the Hadoop components like Hive, Peak in the disks is done by the Hadoop admin. Okay, so if you are using Hadoop in a if you are using Hadoop from Apache, we use data processing tools to Hadoop to process the input data, and we use Ambari. What we call it as Ambari. Okay, yeah, Ambari is a tool which we use to monitor the admin the Hadoop cluster. Okay, so now in the Hadoop from the Apache, use Ambari, or you can say Ganglia. Right, it's a Ganglia. They use Nagios to monitor the Hadoop cluster. Okay, and suppose if you are using the Hadoop from the Cloudera, now the Cloudera will have Cloudera manager. Okay, so to monitor the to administer the Hadoop cluster, if you are using Hortonworks, right, they are using Ambari to monitor and administer the Hadoop cluster. If you are using a Mapper is using Mapper control system, okay, to administer the Hadoop cluster. Okay, so see here, this is Hadoop environment we are having now. So here we have Hadoop for the developer, and this Hadoop for the administration. Okay, so now if you are a developer, so we will work with the Hue, right, where we can able to write the Hive programs, Big programs, Scube programs, HBase, right. So this is all the Hadoop developer environment where we are going to write the analytics or jobs to process the input data. Now, if you want to administer the cluster, then we have to navigate to the Cloudera manager. Okay, so now use Cloudera, and it's a Cloudera is a password. Okay, so these are all the Hadoop processes which are running in this machine, right? So now we have to go for the health checkups. We have to analyze the data. We use the different types of tools to administer the cluster. So based upon your project, your client, they'll have the different tools will integrate here to monitor the health of the cluster, to provide the high availability of the cluster, to maintenance proper health, and the speed, scalability, high availability of the cluster is the responsibility of a Hadoop admin. Okay, Santosh. So now, so being a Hadoop admin, now what you have to learn? So you have to learn so how to work with the SDFS, the SDFS administration. Suppose if you open the terminal, so if you type SDFS, suppose we have a cluster, right? Name node and some data nodes are there. Suppose suddenly your data node goes down, what you have to do? Right? It's a responsibility of a admin. If a name node goes down, what you have to do? Right, how to make the cluster 24 by 7. Suppose today evening we are going for a maintenance activity, so then how to schedule the maintenance mode, how to make the cluster in a maintenance mode is a responsibility of a cluster. Suppose you have configured 10 node cluster, so all the nodes are not in a equal size, how to run the balancer, how to balance the cluster, right? So these are generally comes into the part of a Hadoop admin. Okay, so after that, what we'll do, we use some third party tools. We have the different tools are available, right, based upon the project which you have selected. So I'll teach you that particular components, right? Like, so we have different things are there, log smash, right, Splunk, that is a hunk, so TSDB, Ganglia. So these are the different monitoring tools, Santosh, right? Ganglia, Nagios we have, right? Right? See, we use a Splunk forwarder, OpenTSDB, Grafana, MapRDB, OPSDB. So these are the different administrative tools which are available, right? So I'll teach you those tools to how to monitor the Hadoop cluster. Either you are using Hadoop in Hortonworks, or you are using Hadoop in a Cloudera, or you are using Hadoop in a Mapper. So what we have, how Hadoop is configured and how to monitor the Hadoop clusters generally will have in the as which will comes as the part of Hadoop administrator role. Fine. Any confusion, Santosh here?
No problem.
Right. Okay, so generally we'll configure the Hadoop cluster like this. So this I'm going to teach in tomorrow session about the more about the master nodes, the more about the slave nodes, how user data is going to be processed to a cluster, right? So this we'll see in the coming sessions. As of now, it's this is just brief, right? How we have the cluster like this. So this is a cluster, how it looks like. So we have how many racks are there? So some rack 1, rack 5, rack 3 racks are there. Now we configure the data nodes where our data is available. Now this reference of the data is written into the name node. Now all these nodes are connected together as a cluster. Okay, so generally yeah, Hadoop clusters looks like this. So this is I'm going to teach you in the coming sessions, like so how to configure, what are the applications, how to install in each node, right? The system requirements of each data nodes, each master nodes, right? So this is how a cluster looks like, how to configure the cluster, how to configure the nodes, right? So with that we have we'll discuss in the Hadoop administrative sessions. Okay, then see how to start and stop the clusters, right? How to troubleshoot issues. See, you can able to see here. So these are the different issues are there right now in the cluster, right? So what are the issues it is saying, showing to all configuration issues are 26. Now who are going to resolve these issues? Being admin, your role is to find out the solution for these issues. This is not comes part of the developer role. This comes as the responsibility of a admin role,
Administrator.
right? So that is a that we'll have. Okay, right? Any other question, Santosh?
No, no.
Right, so this is how a Cloudera manager looks like, right? So here we'll see all the hosts, right? The rack information. So whatever the host which is configured here, right? The execution time, suppose the cluster is running slow, why? The cluster is good, the jobs are running slow, why? Right? So these are the different issues we'll get. So that's an everyday we have to check the performance and we have to tune the jobs, right? Now I'll show you the Horton works, right? I'll give you this environment to configure in your machine. Okay, I'll tell you how to configure and how to work with these things. Okay, so now this Hortonworks is using which component? Hortonworks is having Ambari, right? So we'll have Ambari. They'll use Ambari. So with this Ambari, we can able to monitor the health of the Hadoop cluster, information about the cluster, capacity of the cluster, number of nodes in a cluster, number of data nodes, what is a how to configure high availability node. So these are all the things we are going to discuss in the Ambari. Okay, so now, so based upon once the project is assigned, now the client, with the client, right? Suppose your client, right? So where you're working, so whether you are using Huttonworks or you are using Mapper, then you are, whether he is using a Cloudera. So based on that one, so we'll have the administrative tools. Not everybody will use uh, this one. Suppose if you don't want to use all these things, if you want to go with some third party tools, so we can also go for a third party tools also available. Generally it's a right. So ganglios is there, nagios, right? So we use this nagios and we use ganglia, right? Lagstash, and we use a Splunk, right? So these are the tools we have. The different tools are available to monitor the cluster. Okay, so I'll teach you so how we use this nagios, or how to use this ganglia, or how to work the Splunk, or how to work the Lagstash.
Okay.
Okay, so these are the tools based upon your requirement, your client's requirement. So which, so they will use anyone from this. Okay, it's a Splunk. So generally, suppose if you are looking for the your same consultants, they are using this one, Splunk and Lagstash. Okay, so these are the different third party tools, Santosh. Right, so apart from, we have Kibana is there, Kibana, right? We use Kibana, right? And Grafana, right? So these are, there are the different tools are there, Santosh. So exactly, so only this is the tools are available, we cannot say. So because it's open source, so we'll get many tools are available. So this is a Grafana. Okay, it's a Kibana, it's a Grafana, it's a Splunk, Ganglio, Nagios, right? So these are the different cluster monitoring tools. Okay, Santosh.
Yes.
Yeah. Right. So initially, what we'll do, we start with the Cloudera manager. So we'll see how to work with the Cloudera manager. Then we'll see how to work with the heart. Right. So see this will connect through the terminal. So like this. So 192. Right. It's a 168, 65, 131. Right. So this is the Ambari. So admin username, password is admin. So this is how to work with the Ambari Hadoop cluster, information about the cluster, right? So what is, how many data nodes are there? So disk usage. I'll show you in the two ways, Santosh. One is through the terminal, right? Suppose I don't want to use all these things. I just want to work with the terminal. Then how we work with the terminal through command line, or how to work with these things through GUI. So I'll teach you in both the ways. Okay, fine.
Yep.
Yeah, fine, Santosh. Then, so any other questions? So, are you flexible with these kind of things? Or you're looking any particular topics or any other things, any other
Yeah.
components? Hmm?
I'm fine with this. And also, can you suggest me some materials where I can go through
Yes, yeah, that's I'll
before
give
I
you.
get into the next class?
Yes, uh, see, I'll give you the main videos I have for my students. I have these pages like this, so I'll give you an access to go through the videos. And apart from that one, so my regular batches are available, so you can join in that sessions, so you can attend those sessions too. Both are available, right? You can see, you can go through that one. So I'll give an access to the page like this, right, where you can able to see the notes, my videos, and everything.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll give the notes, and I'll give the notes, right, and every session is going to be recorded and will be uploaded and will be given to you.
Sure.
Okay, so I'll give you the Hadoop configuration, and I'll suggest you how to configure Hadoop in your machines. So what the different ways you have to configure? Suppose if you're in your office, how to identify, how to know the cluster, so how to identify the size of the cluster, how we particularly look for the individual configurations. So there are the so many things. So we'll see all those things in the coming sessions as a practically. Okay, right, I'll give the,
Yep.
we'll start with the Cloudera. I'll send you a link. What is your system RAM, Santosh?
It's 8 GB RAM.
Yeah, fine. So first we'll start with the Cloudera. Okay, work with the Cloudera manager. Right, so first we'll see the environment, the file system, the commands, how to work the Hadoop commands, how to work the Hadoop environment. So it is same, right? Either it can be Cloudera, or it can be a Mapper, or it can be a Hortonworks, right? We'll see all the three different ways, and we have how the first thing is the environment to work with that one, so that we'll see in tomorrow session, right? So after that,
Okay.
I'll give you the notes. Right, my notes are like this. Uh, right, you will get the notes in a clear way. Right, so like this, you will be given access to the notes. Right, suppose if you are looking for the architecture,
Okay.
so it's available here. Right, so just go through that one. So whatever you're looking, DFS admin to administer the cluster, so you'll get a detailed notes. Okay, so it is notes written by me, my own notes. Right, so I'll show you how to generate the report of the cluster, right? So how to check the file system check, how to balance the cluster, how to connect to through all the Hadoop daemons. Okay, how to assign the quotas. So this is complete SDFS admin. Okay, right, so you'll be given these nodes, right? So this is Hadoop architecture sessions, and it be.
Got it.
Okay, Santosh, so now we'll start from tomorrow onwards. um, Fine. In the first session, we'll see
Yep.
the Hadoop and what are the Hadoop architecture, right? So what are the Hadoop components are there? What are the Hadoop sub projects are, like a stack, you can say, our ecosystem, right? So we'll have the different words are there. So what are those and how to work the Hadoop environment, Hadoop file system shell commands. So we'll see that thing right in tomorrow session, the same time 9 o'clock, right? This time IST. Fine. So we have a session, right?
Okay.
Even the festival, but it's preferred to take because tomorrow we won't go outside. I'll be at home, so I'll take a session tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah. And any other questions, Santosh? Do you have any confusions? Uh,
As of now, I'm new to Hadoop, so I'm just thinking, wait to learn the basic stuff. That's it.
okay, no problem. It's easy, and we can easily work with Hadoop, right? So you're from the consultant, right? So no worries, right? So we'll take care, and we'll get the support too, right? Both are
Yep.
available. Okay then, Santosh. So I'm ending session for today, and I'll see you tomorrow. Now I'll share a video. Just go through that one about Hadoop. Okay?
Sure.
Yeah. I'll send a link to your mail. So take to just check what is a Hadoop. That's what we have discussed today. It will get a little bit more brief on that video. Fine. Yeah. Thanks,
Okay, sure.
Santosh. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So
Thank you.
if you have
Bye bye.
any queries, questions, write to my mail. Okay. It's a Hadoop
Sure.
framework at gmail.com.
Yep.
Okay. Fine. Thanks. Bye.
Bye bye.